Hi, and welcome to the Kale Houser Leadership Secrets podcast. Today, let's give them more money. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Kale Houser Leadership Secrets podcast. My name is Kale Houser. Thank you for joining me today. I very much appreciate it. Hey, I was thinking about something that I was having a conversation with a friend of ours, and we ran into this situation of giving somebody more money in order to kind of incentivize them to stay. And this was reinforced by, and I started kind of, putting these things together a little bit, as a lot of the comments on whether it be my advertisements on Facebooks or posts or anything, the comments that I've received typically tend towards, and usually it's somebody kind of complaining about their job, right? So I bring up some principle about leadership or work in general, and they're like, yeah, if they'd just pay me what's appropriate, then it wouldn't be an issue, right? I'd be this stellar employee if I was just getting paid what I was worth. And it kind of comes across as this. And I think that is a very easy and common attitude and perspective to have, especially from the employee perspective. It falls right in line with kind of the trend that is going with our country in general, of kind of that victim mentality of, it's not my fault, it's the rich evil corporations, right? That's everything's the evils of the world is all about evil corporations. And you small business owner who has like 5 employees, you must be super rich and you're part of the problem because you're not paying me what I'm worth, right? Or maybe you're part of this big construction company and you're a laborer or a tradesman of some sort, and I'm not getting paid what I'm worth. So there's a lot of that kind of comes up on, especially on social media, because it's easy. You're behind this curtain that is untouchable, and blah blah blah. You understand that perspective and that dynamic of social media. But it gets me thinking a lot. Of course, you have to be a certain level of maturity, a certain level of experience to kind of realize, no, it's not always about the evil corporation. Sometimes it's just about the market and what will bear the market. You could make the same kind of arguments with, minimum wage and all that kind of things. Like, yeah, we'd all love to make $50 an hour, $20 an hour as a minimum wage, but will the market handle it, right? Are now your cheeseburgers that you love so much that used to be, 99-cent Whoppers back in the day, are they now $35 Whoppers? We've noticed that a lot too, as we've gone out to eat. Like, the price of everything is going up, and that's just kind of how that works. You understand that. At least hopefully you'll understand that. So as I was talking about this, a lot of the comments, I said they focus on the money and the wages they're getting paid, and it's, always, I'm not getting paid enough, and I want to engage that person because I know I can help change their attitude and perspective. And it's like, well, what are you doing to earn more? What do you have that would justify an increase in your salary? Are you putting in the extra effort? Are you going out and getting the additional trainings and certifications? And are you bringing more customers into your industry? What are the things that you're doing to deserve and earn those increased wages, other than just showing up and doing the bare minimum? And that is very much the military mindset as well. So the military is kind of different because it has you have that sense of duty and patriotism and service that kind of goes along with that. And most people that join the military kind of understand that. They understand that the Army is not there for them, the Marines are not there for them, the Air Force, the Navy, Coast Guard, whatever, is not there to serve you as an individual. They're not there for Kale Houser to have employment. Okay. You join because you are there to serve that cause. You are there to serve your country in that fashion. And most people understand that. There are some that feel entitled, and they're like, I'm the God's gift to the military, or God's gift to this service or this job. And they get that attitude of the Air Forces wouldn't exist without them being in it in this one particular time in its entirety of history, right? And all the people that have come before them and will come after them. But that's more the outlier than the norm. But in a business, that is an easy attitude to have because it's smaller. There's typically not as much history to go behind it. And you can develop this attitude of, well, your business would fail without me. I'm a linchpin of this business. And that may be for a certain few positions. You may have your one or two people that you really rely on that do a large proportion of the work, besides you as the owner or as the leader or department head, whatever that may be for you. And as those people travel down this mental and attitude journey of this entitlement and this feeling that they're not getting paid what they're worth, they're being overworked, whatever that is, they can kind of start giving off these signals of, this isn't going to work out. I can find something better on the, across the street or with a competitor, or even the competitor is actively headhunting, some of your people because they are so great. And you can get into this position of like, oh no, I can't lose this person. Jessica over here, she knows all of our systems, and it would just be a nightmare to have to train somebody because she's the one who designed our whatever system for that thing is. And I really need, I need to keep her, right? And Jessica may not even be that pleasurable to work with. She may not even be your ideal staff member. But because of her knowledge and experience and what she brings to the organization, you feel kind of trapped and you want to keep her for whatever reasons. And there may be a balance of reasons. So you think of a way to incentivize Jessica. And the first go-to is money, right? That's the kind of the easy, low-hanging fruit if you can afford it. It may not be easy because it may be out of budget, but that's kind of all right, now you were making, say $20 an hour, now I'm going to pay you $22 an hour, right? A 10% raise is pretty legit by most people's standards, unless you're just, extremely low in an industry that's paying $50 an hour. And that may be an absolute temporary solution, and that may be what Jessica is looking for, because she feels underpaid. She's like, I've got so much responsibility, or I've got so many tasks that I do, or I contribute so much to this that I'm just not getting paid what's commensurate? Yeah, I think that's how you say it, with my salary and what I bring to the table. So you go to Jessica, you're like, we're going to do this. And that is a completely viable, happens every day. People ask for raises, based on experience and time and production, all that type of thing. However, there is a flip side to this that I think a lot of, especially small business owners that just don't have the experience or the training or the history to kind of understand the pitfalls of this, is to offer Jessica a position of increased authority, a position of leadership, a position of increased responsibility. Maybe you've grown and now Jessica's been with you and you're going to say, hey, Jessica, I'm going to make you a department head. I'm going to make you a regional manager of some sort. I'm going to make you a COO or a CFO, whatever that is. And you've given them not only a increased salary, but now increased responsibility. And the kicker of this whole part is Jessica hasn't necessarily done things to show that they are ready for that responsibility, that they are ready for that position, or they absolutely shouldn't be in it. Maybe they don't have the certifications or qualifications or the trainings to be successful at that, or even meet the minimum requirements of that. But because you felt trapped and not losing Jessica, you offered this position to them in order to incentivize them to stay. And this is a mistake. I'll just flat out say it. This is an absolute mistake. It may be a temporary solution. Jessica may be like, sweet, Jessica really gets, turned on by that title of, I'm department head or store manager or, whatever that title is, because it feels important and it feels a validation of their progress along with that pay raise, if that's the case. But it will absolutely be temporary because you have set not only Jessica up for failure, but your whole organization and everyone underneath Jessica up for failure. There becomes, people see like, why is Jessica now the store manager? She totally skipped, being the shift lead or the department head, whatever that is, and jumped the line. Is there's kind of a progression that we all understand that flows in business. And why is Jessica getting this special treatment? So it kind of creates this little bit of maybe not necessarily animosity within your workplace, but certainly an awareness of what's going on and people kind of questioning like, why is that? And if you can't easily and confidently justify or explain like, hey, Jessica, yeah, she's been with us so much longer. She went out and got this certification. This was a position that required an MBA. She's been working diligently on it to be qualified the position. We decided to hire into it because we had this opening, Absolutely normal, happens all the time, and that's how it should be done. But the reality is a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, Jessica's going to leave. They get into this kind of panic and emergency mode because they start freaking out about, having to hire somebody and find somebody and then train them, and the delays that will incur as far as getting a new person spun up, and all the things that Jessica knows, and blah, 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 blah. We can go on and on and on about that. So you offer her this position as a form of incentivizing, and it doesn't work out. It won't work out. It will work out temporarily. Jessica will be happy until she's not. Everyone around you will be kind of on edge until the resentment starts to grow and grow and grow and grow, not only for Jessica herself, but for you as the one who made that decision and put them in that position, because it shows that you are purely reacting instead of like having a legit business plan and being professional about it and being, growth mindset and long-term longevity in your business. And then kind of the third and fourth order effects of this is other people expect the same treatment. They kind of look and go, oh, well, Jessica, absolutely critical over here. She was who we went to for all of our, let's just say, finance stuff. And then she jumped the line from like auditor to CFO. You know what I mean? Like she went from a staff member to a C-suite staff member, and maybe I can do that too. Like, hey, I'm really good at logistics in our company. Like I have all this handled, and I developed these systems over here. Maybe instead of being the head of our shipping department or the head of our logistics department, now I could be the chief logistics officer. Right? If that's a thing in your business, if you're big enough for that. And so there becomes this expectation because, hey, guess what? You set a precedent with Jessica in doing that. Instead of sitting down with Jessica and saying, okay, and having that conversation. And these are conversations that if you go through our program, Kale Houser Leadership Secrets, Kale Houser Leadership, you will learn this progression and this precedence that you can start setting for figuring out what do people want? What are their goals? What are their desires, both professionally and personally, right? And you can help them meet that in a manner that is equitable along everywhere, and it's merit-based, right? It's based purely on what they provide and not just the threats of them leaving. So as you are going through this, so that was the third and fourth order effects is people, see that and they start to expect that because you've laid that precedence. But you should be having that conversation with Jessica and saying, what is it that you want? Is it just a matter of money? Why is the money that you're getting now not sufficient? What are you seeing in whether it be the marketplace or the industry or just out in our community or our society that this is no longer working for you? And what is giving you this expectation that you should be earning more? Maybe you are failing in that, man, you've been working here for 5 years and you've never gotten a single raise. Like that just doesn't work, right? Because inflation is a thing and cost of living always goes up. So they may be absolutely justified in that. But I'm talking more the somebody out of their own sense of entitlement, for lack of a better term, their own sense of not self-worth, but importance in your industry. And have that conversation, and you can tell them, say, okay, yeah, maybe you do agree on a certain X amount of raise for percentage amount for them, but then lay out that plan. Like, hey, Jessica, you've got such great potential to be the CFO, but these are the requirements for that position. What have you been doing to meet those requirements? What have you been doing to exceed those requirements? So I should go with you. Like, I have no choice but to go with you because you're so awesome. Versus going external to our organization to find somebody that better meets and fulfills those requirements. But when you get into this, knee-jerk reaction of like, I can't lose you. Here's, a bunch of money, and I'm going to make you the department head, and go this route. You're so setting up for failure, and it'll just be horrific. It'll be a train wreck when it comes to the end because it'll be a worse departure when inevitably they depart. The overall attitudes of your office will change, or your workplace will change as people see this. And then you will have set a precedent that I don't think is a healthy precedent, and one that you certainly don't want to base the entirety of your business model on as you go about growing and doing those things. So make sure you keep these things in mind when you come to this situation. Absolutely, give me a call. Go to our website, kalehouser.com. There's a book a call form at the bottom there. Get on my calendar. I've got a bunch of open slots, no big deal. You can slide right in and we can have this chat, and you can, tell me about your situation, and I'd love to hear it, and I can kind of help you, minimum, provide some perspective and outside angle of attack, so you can better see your options, better see maybe mistakes that you might have made, or mistakes that you're setting yourself up for by going down different paths of action. I'd love to talk with you and meet you and have that chat. All right, everybody, I hope you're having a fantastic week. I hope you are enjoying this journey that is leadership, that is business, and all these various things. I think it's absolutely fascinating and a fun part to be in, even as I'm going through it myself, and we're building our business with Liz and I. We're meeting or handling a lot of the same challenges that you're handling right now, whether how do I get known in the marketplace, how do I do my marketing and my sales and set up for events and all those types of things. And we're certainly running into our own setbacks and expectations that aren't being met that we had, and helping us to kind of do that self-analysis of was I completely off base with this expectation, or is this a one-off, and kind of going through that process. But that's a whole nother podcast that we can discuss with that. All right, hey, have a fantastic afternoon no matter where you're at in the world. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.